today that Jack Smith has been told to preserve his documents. You know what that means? They're going to be looking at him from a legal perspective. It all comes as Letitia James is making this kind of threat and that kind of threat, and you got the governor of Massachusetts and the governor of New Jersey and the governor of New York doing similar type things. We begin on Jack Smith. Take a look. Preserve your records, Mr. Jack Smith was told. The Committee on the Judiciary is continuing the oversight of the Department of Justice and the Office of Special Counsel. According to recent public reports, prosecutors in your office have been gaming out legal options in the event that President Trump won the election. With President Trump's decisive victory this week, we are concerned that the Office of Special Counsel may attempt to purge relevant records, communications, and documents responsive to our numerous requests for information. In other words, Jack Smith was sent packing. And when he packs up, the danger is that he might take all the documents and the boxes filled with information that could be used against him or his colleagues or other Democrats with him. And so now they're saying, you got to preserve it. Now, he's going to be in big trouble if he doesn't, because you're not supposed to throw this stuff away, and especially after now the Judiciary Committee has said you must preserve this. So this is a formal request, they write, a formal request. This tells me that they're not done. They're not going to roll over and play dead, that there is stuff that's going to happen. Don't forget, of course, the other day we learned that he was winding down the case against Trump, federal cases, all as Letitia James is trying to, rev things up, shall we say. Here she is saying, putting Trump on warning, I guess. It quickly turned around and Trump's attorneys put her on warning. But let's start with Letitia.
And lastly, I congratulate the President-elect Donald Trump. And if possible, we will work with his administration. But we will not compromise our values or our integrity or our principles. We did not expect this result, but we are prepared to respond to this result. And my office has been preparing for several months because we've been here before. We faced this challenge before, and we use the rule of law to fight back. And we are prepared to fight back once again. Because as the Attorney General of this great state, it is my job to protect and defend the rights of New Yorkers and the rule of law. And I will not shrink from that responsibility.
They're like, do we clap? Should we clap? I mean, what is this, like some kind of civil war she's trying to set up? Well, Mike Davis let her have it. He was on with Benny last week. I just love this clip. If you've seen it already, I'm sorry, but it's that good. It's that good. So let's watch it again.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term. Because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike. This isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
You could see Benny just sort of light up, right? As Mike Smith said that, because it's a different tone. And by the way, now they have the power to go with it. So if Letitia James just decides to go rogue, Donald Trump, he's a nice man. I'm going to tell you this. He is a nice man. And I've said to you before, he didn't want to go after Hillary Clinton. He didn't, but I wonder if, think about it. They've been there before. They know what the team did after the fact. So is there retribution? I suspect if everybody said, you know what, we're on board. We want to be united. We want to play with you. We want to work with you. We're here to get stuff done for the good of America. Donald Trump would be absolutely, I know him, okay? And he's a former Dem. Like, He would be happy to work with them. He really would. But Letitia's angling for something. You got the governor in Massachusetts, I'm going to show you, angling for something. Everybody's angling for something. He's kind of just the nice guy.
I think they're unethical, but who knows?
I want to drill down on this question of retribution because against your political opponents, because you've had opportunities to walk that back. And my question is this: are you prepared to say now that you will not use law enforcement to punish or prosecute your political opponents?
Excuse me. That's what they're using on me.
Okay, so your stance is that they started it.
Before you start this.
Yeah, I got it.
Howie, that's what they're using on me. I've got DAs. I've got everybody. They look at me. There's never been anything like this. The biggest case was the one down in Florida, and I beat it 100%. I won the case because we had number one, a brilliant judge and a judge that moved rather rapidly, and I won the case. By the way, Biden had almost the same case, but he didn't have the Presidential Records Act because he wasn't the president, just to finish. And he got off on the basis that he's incompetent, essentially that he's incompetent. And it was a strange ruling because they said, number one, he's incompetent, so he's not going to be, but the prosecutor actually said he's guilty, but he's incompetent. But they didn't say he couldn't be president anymore. That was his bigger problem for not being president. How can you not represent yourself in court because you're incompetent, but you're allowed to represent the United States of America? The whole thing is crazy. But no, they have weaponized government against me.
But are you willing to use the same tactics?
No, I don't want to do that because that's a bad thing for the country. I don't want to do that. I don't know who said. I haven't said that I would. But
he doesn't want to have to do that. But if Letitia James does what she wants to do, if she throws a fit and says, okay, no, you're not allowed to deport anyone from the state of New York, then I have a feeling, to go back to Mike's comment, hey, sweetheart, watch yourself because we can put your fat you-know-what in prison. I mean, wow. But, in terms of retribution, I would just say this. Listen, you need to get to the bottom of what happened for the sake of every American, for the sake of every politician on both sides, because stuff like that shouldn't happen. So I love that the House Judiciary Committee put Jack Smith and his entire team there on warning. They want copies of those records preserved. We deserve it. We deserve to know what the heck happened.